Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, January 9th. Well, the overall weather pattern continues to unfold into one that looks colder and snowier for the eastern part of the nation in the medium term and the longer term. But even in the short term, we have a lot of cold and snow to deal with here in the Mid-Atlantic region over the next several days. We'll first talk about the next 24 hours or so, which will feature very strong wind gusts and perhaps some scattered snow shower activity, and then we'll talk about the upcoming weekend snow event. Indeed, it looks like there can very well be accumulating snow this weekend from the Mississippi Valley across the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-Atlantic region. Several inches of snow possible south of the Mason-Dixon line, and even some accumulating snow all the way up to the New York City metro region. Still, that's a few days away, but it looks like accumulating snow a good bet in much of the Mid-Atlantic region this weekend. First, current surface map shows strong low pressure over the coastal waters of Maine this morning. This low will actually intensify over the next several hours, and that will intensify or tighten this pressure gradient. These black lines represent lines of equal pressure, isobars. The tighter they are, the stronger the winds, and the wind generally follows the isobar pattern here, with winds out of the northwest over the next several hours. And again, they will increase in intensity past 40 miles per hour this afternoon in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City metro region. Notice also radar showing up here with some snow shower activity across the higher elevation regions of western Pennsylvania, upstate New York. Some of that snow shower activity very well could cross the mountains and make it into the I-95 corridor during the midday and afternoon hours, perhaps even into the early evening hours. So this kink right here represents a secondary cold frontal system that will slide on through during the midday. Temperatures will actually hold steady in the 40s this morning, but then drop during the afternoon following the passage of that secondary cold front, and that will usher in the increasing winds for this afternoon, early evening. Again, 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City later today. Those strong winds continue tonight. They'll slacken off a bit with the dissipation of the diurnal heating, but then pick up again in intensity on Thursday. In fact, it looks like it'll stay quite breezy even into the day on Friday. Well, let's take a look at the very latest run of the high-resolution model known as the HRRR, and we'll go ahead in hourly increments, see exactly what this model is depicting in terms of snow shower activity over the next 12 hours or so, along with the increasing, the tightening pressure gradient here that will result in very strong wind gusts this afternoon. No snow showers right now at this particular time early this morning. East of the mountains, again, they're confined to the higher elevation regions of western Pennsylvania, upstate New York. But let's move forward here and notice some of these snow showers start to make an advance towards the mountains and even into the I-95 corridor region by later on this afternoon. Don't be surprised for some snow shower activity. Also, as this storm intensifies, it drops in pressure during the next several hours. This pressure gradient, represented here by this tight isobar pattern here, will result in very strong wind gusts. And again, watch out for some streamer bands of snow that could make it all the way into the I-95 corridor region later on today. Those winds continue at strong levels tonight, although perhaps a little bit reduced with the loss of the diurnal heating, but then they'll pick up again in intensity on Thursday. Cold day on Thursday, colder than today following the passage of that secondary cold front, which will reduce temperatures during the afternoon, and tomorrow looks a little bit colder than today. Well, let's now focus in on the upcoming weekend event. Again, it looks like an accumulating snow event from the Mississippi Valley all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region later Saturday night into the day on Sunday. Obviously, it's still a few days to go, and the upper level features of interest are still way out there. In fact, over the Pacific Ocean, I wanted to point out this little twirl in this infrared satellite imagery loop from Intellicast.com shows where an upper level feature exists right now, and that is going to be a main player here, still way off the west coast. The models will tend to have a better handle of the situation later tonight, or especially during the day on Thursday, when a lot of this energy moves ashore. Models tend to handle things better in that sense because the data is certainly more widespread on land than it is over the ocean. But here is one of the main players that we're watching over the immediate term that'll have a big role, will play a big role in the weekend snow event coming to the Mid-Atlantic region. Now I want to wrap up by looking at last night's Zero-Z 12-kilometer version of the NAM. This is a higher resolution model. There are different kinds of computer forecast models out there, high resolution, more synoptic scale, like the NAM. And then there are the global models like the GFS. GFS stands for Global Forecast System. The European model is a global model as well. Sometimes in certain situations, higher resolution models will do a better job, and I wanted to take a look at this. This is actually the 84-hour forecast. That's the last hourly forecast available from the Zero-Z run of the NAM last night. So this is for Saturday morning at 500 millibars. And I wanted to point out, this is that upper level feature that moves in from the Pacific Ocean into the middle part of the country here. Quite an impressive upper level low here, or vorticity max rate, in the heartland of the nation here comes Saturday morning. And that is going to be a key player. Another key factor here, confluence, or kind of a convergence of air in New England. That tends to force a sharp cutoff to the precipitation pattern, anything that comes out here. And indeed, we may have a sharp cutoff in terms of snowfall accumulations, mainly around northern Pennsylvania, right across New York City and north. There may be little or no snowfall, the way it looks right now, over this upcoming weekend event. But farther to the south of there, much better chance for accumulating snow, especially south of the Mason-Dixon line. Again, two key factors to watch, and we have a few days to monitor this, is the involvement of this particular upper level feature that looks quite healthy on this high resolution model from last night's Zero-Z NAM run, and this confluence pattern here over New England come the early part of the week, and that will play a role in exactly how far north the accumulating snow can take place this weekend. Well, one final map. I want to show the forecast map from last night's Zero-Z NAM model as far out as it goes, which is 84 hours for Saturday morning. It doesn't go farther than this, but I like what I'd see if I'm a snow lover here, for a couple of reasons. First of all, very strong Arctic high. I often talk about the need for a strong, cold Arctic high to the north for snow in the Mid-Atlantic region, specifically a requirement for the big cities like Philadelphia, D.C., New York City. Looks like we'll have plenty of cold air. This will send cold air down through New England into the Mid-Atlantic region Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame. Notice a very healthy looking snow band here, precipitation shield, all snow over the Mississippi Valley, spreading eastward into the Ohio Valley, associated with that low pressure system over the south central U.S. Again, this is the high resolution NAM model, and I believe this will just spread basically from west to east, and this whole region right in here looks like they are in store for accumulating snow, perhaps on the order of several inches south of the Mason-Dixon line and a few inches north of the Mason-Dixon line. Again, New York City looks like they'll be more or less on the northern end, perhaps less snow up there than, let's say, D.C. or Philadelphia, the way it looks right now, but a few days to go. Very impressive look here on the high-resolution model run from last night. Stay tuned to PerspectiveWeather.com for more updates later today and, of course, during the next few days. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.